Is this side hustle really so easy a 10-year-old can do? You're about to find out. Before we get started, if you're new here, I am Ryan. I'm learning the truth about all these popular side hustles on the internet. So if that interests you, make sure you subscribe to me and let me know in the comments what side hustle you want me to do next. Today, I'm digging into selling on Etsy, specifically using the print to order method, which is often touted on the internet as a way you can make thousands of dollars in passive income. But is that true? I'm going to go into every detail and let you know if this is fact or cap. So let's kick things off with what is Etsy. Etsy is an online marketplace that's been around since 2005, which originated in selling handmade goods as well as vintage items, but has slowly evolved into a place where you can sell things you've made using AI or Canva and leverage third parties who print and ship the items for you where you don't have to hold any inventory. So it sounds very easy, but they're probably not as easy as they seem, and I'll get into that later. Now, I do need to call out that I am a very small content creator, but I'm lucky enough to have a sponsor. And before you skip through it, just like I do, I want you to know that these sponsors really do matter to every YouTuber, no matter how big or small they are. And if you're not interested in the product, the best thing you can do is reach out to those sponsors either through social media or email and tell them thank you for sponsoring your favorite creator. And I happen to be called Side Hustle Review. So today's sponsor is InVideo.io, and they are truly a very powerful AI tool if you're a small business or somebody trying to get a side hustle up and going, because with one simple prompt, you can get a full video developed in just a very easy way. Here's an example of a prompt that I did, and here's the video it produced.
Step into the vibrant world of Etsy print on demand, a universe where creativity intersects with convenience. In this realm, designs bloom into existence on products solely when you place your order, eradicating waste and guaranteeing uniqueness. We're crafting a sustainable future, one print at a time.
Now that's not all. If you didn't like any of those things in that video, you actually have a simple prompt where you can tell it to remove the voice or change this or that. It's just like if you're talking to a friend or an editor, and it'll make all those edits for you. So if you are interested in this product, it is linked down in my description as well as in my bio. And please, if you're not interested in the product, just tell them thank you for sponsoring me. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm talking about the print to order method, which actually leverages a third party such as Printful or Printify that has an API sync with Etsy. This is just a fancy IT way to say that they can talk to each other, where you could set up your products on those third parties such as mouse pads, t-shirts, what have you, and get them posted onto Etsy as a product. The beauty of this is you hold no inventory. You don't have to buy these t-shirts or mugs. You just get them posted on Etsy, and as people buy them, your third party prints them and ships them. It is actually pretty easy to set this up. I would say so easy a 10-year-old could do, but that's not all you need to do to get this side hustle done. There are in fact thousands, if not millions of shops on Etsy today. The real trick is how do you get your product or your shop to stand out amongst the rest? So when you're thinking about this business, you really need to understand that it's going to come down to you and your marketing skills in order to get these products bought, sold, and shipped at a significant way where you're actually pulling in revenue. The types of marketing skills that you're going to need are search engine optimization, advertising skills, influencer marketing skills. You name it, you're really going to need to become the marketer of your shop in order for this to be successful. Another thing that a lot of these Etsy coaches or gurus leave out is that advertising cost. That really does eat away at your profit, and oftentimes they'll show you a number, but not minus these numbers out, telling you what you're truly going to profit. And that's not all you need to know. Now, there's another part of this side hustle that gurus kind of breeze over, and that is earnings. They often show you the full earnings from their Etsy store without actually taking out all the cost of doing business and telling you what the net profit is. For instance, I've seen coaches that show a screen of their Etsy store saying they're making $50,000 a month through Etsy, but they don't remove the cost of goods, the Etsy fees, the cost to your third-party print-to-order partner, and your transaction fees. All those eat away at your margins. And in fact, that $50,000, what you're going to walk away with is something around 10%. So don't think that you're going to make $50,000 every month and that's going straight in your pocket. It's going to be something 10%. And to get to that 50K, you're going to need to do a lot more work than just put it up in a month and expect it to come in. It can take years for you to get to that 50K mark. And your first few months, you might not make any money, or you'll make dollars and cents, not even hundreds. Etsy themselves say their customers make somewhere on average between 10 and 50%, and that 50% is held back for people who actually make handmade or vintage things. The print to order people make somewhere about 8 to 14%. So think about that, and when you're thinking about starting up this side hustle. Now, if none of this has scared you away, that's great, because Etsy can be a place you make money, and you may be considering still to get a coach to help you get up to speed quick enough so you can get your store up and running within days, not weeks or months. And that might be okay, but I'm going to give you a couple red flags you should look out for when it comes to coaches, and as well as a couple green ones. Now, here is one major red flag I see from Etsy coaches all the time. They'll find a random store on Etsy with, let's say, 2,000 reviews, and then take the cost of the product, let's say $17 for a t-shirt, and simply multiply that by the 2,000 and say that is the revenue you should expect. This is completely wrong, and any coach that is doing that has never sold anything on Etsy, because even you should know from watching earlier in this video that that should remove the cost of goods, the cost of Etsy selling, the cost of transactions, and then that would be your actual revenue. If anybody takes this multiplying effect and tells you that's how much you should get in your pocket, are completely off base and not someone you should trust with your money. Now, one other red flag is a coach that guarantees success. They say they'll set up the store for you and you'll get revenue within months. I've actually done this through multiple other side hustles, let's say drop shipping or YouTube, and there is always a catch. Anybody that guarantees anything when it comes to making money really shouldn't be trusted. I personally would not go with any coach that guarantees me that they will set up my store and start generating profit for me. It just doesn't feel right, and most of the times I've taken people up on this offer, I've gotten burned. Now, here are some green flags when it comes to Etsy coaches. Any Etsy coach that's willing to show you their Etsy shop completely and transparently without hiding anything is one you can trust. Now, there are some coaches that say they will never do that because as they drive traffic from their students to their Etsy shop that aren't buying, it will hurt their ranking with the Etsy algorithm, and that is kind of true. However, I do think if they are truly a real coach, they can probably only manage 12 to 15 students that they're doing one-on-one coaching with, and they should be able to show it to you. Now, if there's somebody that's doing general classes and not doing one-on-one, I could see that, but they should have a level of transparency that can make you trust them. Another green flag is a coach that completely understands the business model. They can walk you through the actual transaction fees, the cost of Etsy, all those things, and they do this before you become their student. They make sure you know exactly what to expect in terms of revenue and income before you buy their course or their one-on-one coaching. If they do that, I would say 100% go with that coach. So is Etsy print to order the easy side hustle it's made out to be? I would say it can be profitable as long as you understand it's going to take more than creativity. It's going to take you really figuring out some marketing and some overall product strategy to be successful. If you feel like you are up to it, I know you will get that W. And that's it today for this Etsy deep dive. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. Give it a like, comment, share. All those things really do help. And I'll see you on to the next one. Peace.